taken over.
I have blood all over me, and there's a bloody knife on the bed, and I think I did it. I can't believe this.
It's exclusive. A young woman killed by her husband.
Lauren Hugelmaier was a vibrant 29-year-old woman living in Raleigh, North Carolina. She had a tight-knit family, a wide social circle, and a successful career as an auditor. But her promising life was cut short in September 2017, when she was viciously murdered by her own husband, Matthew Phelps. Lauren Hugelmaier was born in 1988 and raised in the small town of Scottsville, Kentucky, along with her two sisters. She came from a very loving and close-knit Christian family. Her father, Dale, doted on his daughters, and Lauren became especially tight with her sister, Beth. As a teenager, Lauren briefly dated a boy named Matthew Phelps. But after Matthew changed schools, they lost touch and went their separate ways. No one could have imagined the sinister role Matthew would play in Lauren's future. After high school, Lauren moved to Raleigh, North Carolina, to attend college. She earned an accounting degree and quickly found success in her career as an auditor. Matthew Phelps did not grow up nearly as stable as Lauren did. He was primarily raised by his grandparents because his single mother was often absent, and his biological father was completely out of the picture. Without a steady father figure, Matthew began acting out in his early teens. He fell in with the wrong crowd and started abusing drugs and alcohol. He became specifically addicted to getting high off quercetin cough and cold medicine. Matthew's behavior became so defiant that his grandparents pulled him from public school and sent him to a private Christian academy to get back on track. For a time, this approach worked. Matthew cleaned up his act enough to graduate and go to college at Clear Creek Baptist Bible College in Kentucky. But while Matthew appeared to have turned things around on the surface, inside he still clung to his addictions and violent compulsions. This darker side of himself was something he worked hard to conceal from those around him. In their mid-20s, out of the blue, Matthew Phelps reached out to his old classmate Lauren on Instagram. After some casual chatting, it quickly became clear a romantic spark was reigniting. Matthew began visiting Lauren in North Carolina. Before long, he made the permanent move to Raleigh just to be near her. Their rekindled relationship progressed at lightning speed. After just months of dating again, they got engaged in 2015. The following year, Lauren and Matthew tied the knot in a Star Wars-themed wedding surrounded by family and friends. From the outside, they seemed to be the perfect, happy couple. Lauren was eager to start a life and family with Matthew, but behind the scenes, there were early red flags. When Matthew confessed to Lauren's family that he had a failed previous marriage, it worried them. They began to question Matthew's integrity, as he was so young yet already divorced. At first, married life seemed idyllic. Lauren's social media painted a picture of utter newlywed bliss. She constantly posted mushy photos with Matthew, bragging about her amazing husband. But it was all a facade. Behind closed doors, larger issues plagued their marriage. For one, Matthew remained close with his controlling mother, who treated Lauren very poorly. This caused constant tension. More concerning was Matthew's utter lack of responsibility. He flitted from job to job, unable to maintain steady employment. The financial stress fell squarely on Lauren's shoulders. While she worked tirelessly to support them, Matthew frittered away their money on frivolous hobbies like electronics and gaming. He even stole cash outright from Lauren's purse and their joint savings. This financial strain led to blazing arguments. Understandably, Lauren grew resentful having to carry a grown man who contributed nothing. Lauren confessed to her family that divorce was on the table, but her religious beliefs led her to keep trying to fix the broken marriage. Tragically, this choice cost Lauren her life. As the marriage deteriorated, Matthew withdrew into deeper levels of darkness. He concealed an addiction to drugs and obsession with death and morbid imagery. Disturbingly, Matthew idolized Patrick Bateman, the psychopathic serial killer from the film American Psycho. In the lead-up to the murder, Matthew's Instagram account showed his mental state unraveling. On the night of September 1, 2017, while Lauren was sound asleep, Matthew quietly slipped out to the kitchen. He grabbed a large, sharp knife from the block and gripped it tightly. Heart-pounding, he crept back to the darkened bedroom where his sleeping wife lay helpless. Then, in a fit of uncontrolled rage, Matthew plunged the knife into Lauren over and over in a frenzied, stabbing attack. Lauren had no chance to fight back or even realize what was happening. The brutal attack left her with 123 savage wounds. Finally, the grisly deed was done and Lauren lay lifeless on the floor in a pool of her own blood. Matthew's 911 call snapping out of his psychotic breakdown, Matthew called 911 in a fake panic around 1 a.m. on September 2nd.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
I think I killed my wife.
What happened?
I had a dream, and then I turn on the lights and she's dead on the floor. I have blood all over me, and there's a bloody knife on the bed, and I think I did it. Knife's on the bed. I'm not next to it, so I don't have a weapon on me or anything like that.
When did you wake up?
I don't know. I took more medicine than I should have.
What medicine did you take?
I took Horseheat, HPT, cough and cold.
Investigators arrive on the scene shortly after to find Lauren lying dead on the bedroom floor, soaked in blood from over 120 stab wounds. Matthew is anxiously waiting for them outside. He repeats his claim of overdosing on cold medicine and accidentally killing his wife in his sleep, but the evidence suggests otherwise. Matthew's story did not align with what investigators found inside the apartment. They immediately recognized the scene had been staged. The large knife was implausibly placed on the bed, exactly where Matthew said it would be on the 911 call. Cold medicine bottles were prominently displayed on the bathroom counter, but strangely, with so much blood, Matthew had barely any on his clothes. It became obvious he had cleaned himself up before calling 911. The blood spatter patterns told the true story. Luminol testing revealed blood in locations indicating Lauren had been attacked in multiple rooms. She suffered excessive wounds that could only have been inflicted intentionally while conscious. In the bathroom, investigators discovered Lauren's blood on the walls and counter space. But the floor was oddly clean. It was clear Matthew had meticulously scrubbed the floors to remove blood evidence before police arrived. Matthew likely thought concocting the cold medicine overdose story would provide him an easy escape. But as investigators dug into his background, the holes in that theory quickly unraveled. Inside the apartment, police discovered a journal where Matthew had scribbled his deep-seated resentments towards Lauren. She represented everything he felt inadequate about in himself: her success, her close family, her threat to leave him. On Matthew's cell phone, police recovered his chilling internet searches in the weeks before the murder. He had researched things like, how much Coricidin do you need to take to die? Can you kill someone and not remember it? Matthew planned Lauren's murder in advance. He created a secret Instagram account under the name Marty_Radical, where he posted admiring photos of American Psycho. He also made disturbing posts about wanting to kill Lauren. The account proved Matthew's premeditation and intent to commit the crime. This mountain of evidence compelled Matthew to admit what he had done. Facing overwhelming proof, he pleaded guilty to first-degree murder. In 2018, Matthew Phelps was sentenced to life in prison without parole.
Case.
You understand that you're pleading guilty to one offense. That's the offense of first-degree murder. It is a felony. It carries the maximum penalty of death or life without the possibility of parole. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you personally plead guilty to the charge I just described?
Yes, sir.
And did you in fact murder your wife, Lauren Phelps, by stabbing her multiple times?
Yes, sir.
It says you're going to plead guilty to the offense I just described. You'll be sentenced to life without the possibility of parole in the custody of North Carolina Division of Adult Correction.
For Lauren's loved ones, Matthew's conviction brought justice but little closure. Her family was racked with guilt over not intervening to stop the marriage sooner. Lauren's father, Dale, in particular, agonized that his initial unease about Matthew tragically proved right. Lauren's family started the Lauren Hugelmaier Scholarship to award to female accounting students like Lauren. They also founded Lauren's Light, a nonprofit providing financial assistance to domestic violence victims in crisis. Matthew Phelps took away Lauren's future over his petty resentments and violent compulsions. but her memory cannot be erased. May Lauren's story serve as a cautionary tale about the red flags of domestic violence that should never be ignored.